Today we're exploring how cooking can become a moment of calm and intention. And I know what you're thinking, did Kelly really just say that cooking could be soothing? But goals, people, goals.
Soothing, for me. Well, we know we're going to be inspired by this new cookbook. It's Mind, Body, Spirit, and Food. It's a collection of 51 gluten-free recipes paired with simple mindfulness practices.
Ooh, I am
to me
willing
about
to
this.
try. Author Nicki Sizemore is here to cook with us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. So this cookbook was born years ago, almost 6 years ago, when I was in a stage of serious burnout. I'm going to start cooking as we talk.
Please.
I, at the time, had 3 cookbooks out teaching people how to get dinner on the table. And at home, I was completely failing. I felt like I was failing. Dinner had become the most stressful time of my day. I had 2 little kids. I felt like I was like a jogger, panting to keep up. And this thing that had always been my source of joy had turned into a moment of stress. And I realized that I had agency. Eventually it occurred to me that I was focused so much on getting dinner on the table that I had lost track of the process of cooking. And how do we turn the process of cooking into an opportunity for real nourishment? Not just like what ends up on our plate, but being in the kitchen, engaging our senses, this opportunity to tune in and really to tune out all of the distractions and the chatter so that cooking can become a really grounding practice.
I can see you're enjoying this right now. Your face is relaxed here.
Everyone at home wants to know what you're cooking and what you just put in there.
So we're making a creamy chicken stew from the recipe. All of the recipes in the book have 2 variations.
Okay.
And this is it's 51 recipes, but it's more like way over 100 because you get all these variations. This is to allow people to tap into their intuition. What do they feel like cooking? What do they have on hand? But also to empower cooks, because you'll see you can use the same technique and use it multiple different ways. So I hope that people will learn the techniques. So what we're doing is we're making this creamy chicken stew. Got carrots, leeks, and celery in here.
Smelling good already.
Already smelling good. We're gonna add garlic. That's gonna smell
fresh garlic,
even
I'm
better.
sure is important, not the jar.
Please use fresh garlic. Please use fresh garlic. And we're gonna thicken this with a little bit of flour. We have a swap out here. At home, you're gonna wanna take this longer and get the vegetables nice and soft.
So how long about would you saute something?
I would say 5 to 8 minutes.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. And then you're going to sprinkle in some flour. That's going to be the thickening agent. I'm using gluten-free flour because I can't eat gluten, but you could totally use regular flour. You won't know the difference.
I love that you're doing gluten-free because my sister's gluten-free and this smells amazing, and so it's not lacking on flavor.
I'd say all of my recipes just happen to be gluten-free.
Since you're talking about your recipes, I'm going to ask you the hardest question of today, and that's going to be, which one are your favorite recipes from the book?
That is the hardest one today. Chicken broth goes in, and then, Jose, if you could add the sweet potatoes and all of these whole spices.
Should I just throw it in?
Throw it in.
There you go.
Yep.
And all the spices?
A whole cinnamon stick. There's star anise. There's bay leaf. There's curry powder and cayenne. All of these are going to bring this really quick and easy stew, this rich, deep flavor.
This time of the year, too, when people are kind of getting sick, I feel like a soup is what everybody wants right now.
What everybody wants. My favorite recipes, I have 2 kids and I can never choose my favorite, and I feel like my recipes are the same. It really depends on what time of year it is. Like right now, I live in the Hudson Valley of New York. We have 3 feet of snow on the ground. I have a whole chicken in a pot recipe that I love, and you cook the chicken in a pot, and so it almost tastes like a rotisserie chicken, but then you brown it at the end, and you can do a Moroccan version or a French version. I have baked quesadillas, like a really quick and easy, simplified, deconstructed quesadilla situation that my kids adore.
Well, I was going to say, I have probably the exact same palate as your kids, so anything quesadilla, sign me up. You just switch things out.
So what we did is once this all cooks down, the potatoes get nice and tender, and then we're going to finish it with more ingredients. So I'm using collard greens for this recipe, but you could use any leafy greens that you have or you like.
Like kale or anything else.
You could even do spinach. And then if you want to add the chicken.
Chicken, yes.
And so this version, you should
all
just
that
dump
chicken,
it.
that's a lot of protein.
Do I just do it with my hands?
You can do it with this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to be eating this, Jose, so please use a spatula.
This version gets coconut cream. That version gets regular cream, but you could swap out.
Okay.
Coconut cream. I've
Coconut
never.
cream.
Is that so gonna make it creamy? Like, do you
It
feel like
will.
you're missing out?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it really, you could use regular cream, but since we've got the curry powder and all of those warming flavors, the coconut really
It's
marries well. And then I have an ingredient that I think you're gonna really like, and that's peanut butter.
Oh my gosh, you had me at peanut butter.
Yes, the peanut
Creamy,
butter.
not crunchy.
Creamy peanut butter.
So this goes in
right
now?
Yeah, it
Okay,
goes
here
right
goes
in.
your peanut butter.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, that's creamy.
How many cookbooks have you done too?
This is my fourth.
Fourth.
But this book is really my most personal, I'd say, and this book really changed my relationship to cooking. And it's brought me, it's transformed cooking into an act of self-care, which might sound a little cheesy, but it really is true. It's this moment that I get to take for myself, even while I'm cooking for others. And I think that sense of nourishment is just so important, and how we feed ourselves and how we nourish ourselves so we can show up in the world is the best version.
Yeah, for ourselves, for our family, for everyone.
Yeah.
How long does this cook down? When do I know it's done? And I
Yeah.
see the finished product over here, and I'm
Yeah.
so excited to taste.
So all you have to do once you add those greens and the chicken, and you can add another splash of water. You can see it's a very thick stew. We're making a stew.
yeah, it's not just a soupy.
It's not just a soupy, but you can thin it with a little water, and you're basically just going to cook this until the greens are tender and everything is warmed through at this point. And then we have the versions to try. I love topping
Which
this
one has
stew.
peanut butter?
The peanut butter is going to be this one, the black bowl.
Okay, this one goes to you. Sorry, Jose.
Thank you.
So
I
am I
must
right
try
about
this
that? No,
one.
I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm
Darn
sorry.
it! It was my fault.
You
It's
see
my
how
fault.
you see how it works, Kelly?
Well, I know karma hit me
Yeah.
with it. While we're trying this, what's next for you? Because obviously we can feel your passion, and the food smells amazing.
Well, I have
Jose,
a-
how does it taste?
Yeah, I know you have an event tonight at 6:30,
yes,
right?
I have an event at Book Larder tonight with Erin Goylaga, a local Seattle cookbook author who is amazing, and we'll both be there talking about the book and talking about nourishment in general. And I have a podcast and newsletter, Mind, Body, Spirit, Food is the name of those as well. So you can hear conversations with other chefs and find ways to
And you're gonna have to live this here because this is delicious.
10 out of 10, so good. Thank you so much for being here.
It's
Amazing.
a
And we
pleasure.
sort of helped, but we didn't really do much. But it's okay.